Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Joanna Ho. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. A second powerful earthquake rocks Turkey just hours after one that has killed over 1,000 people near the country's border with Syria. Hong Kong's largest national security trial commenced today. And all checkpoints between Hong Kong and the mainland reopen after all travel restrictions are dropped. A second 7.5 magnitude earthquake has struck Turkey. It follows just hours after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake devastated parts of southern Turkey and Syria that has left over 1,000 dead with thousands more injured. Rescue operations are ongoing and the death toll is likely to rise, Azam Khan reports.
A second powerful earthquake had struck central Turkey just hours after the region had been hit by a devastating 7.8 quake. The 7.8 magnitude quake shook residents from their beds early Monday morning, with tremors felt as far as Lebanon and Israel. First responders raced to find survivors trapped beneath rubble on either side of the Turkey-Syria border, as the death toll continues to surge from one of the strongest earthquakes to hit the region. Amid the extensive damage, rescue teams pulled out survivors with their bare hands, as heavy equipment couldn't make it through due to the damaged infrastructure. The U.S. Geological Survey said the quake was centered about 33 kilometers from Gaziantep, a major city and provincial capital in southwestern Turkey, and had a strong 6.7 magnitude aftershock rumble about 10 minutes later. The death toll has been difficult to confirm, but more than 1,000 people have been confirmed dead and thousands more injured. The figure is likely to change as rescue operations continue. The Turkish Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu said armed forces and numerous other rescue teams have been dispatched to the relevant regions. On the Syrian side, the quake crushed war-torn regions, which are densely populated with some 4 million Syrians who are displaced due to the civil war. Many of them already live in decrepit conditions with little health care. Azam Khan, HKIBC.
Back locally, a landmark trial involving 47 people arrested for conspiracy to commit subversion commenced at the West Kowloon Magistracy today. 16 defendants who were charged under the national security law have pleaded not guilty. Macy Mok reports.
More than 100 people, including consular representatives of different countries, queued outside the West Kowloon Magistracy this morning as the watershed national security trial started today. 47 pro-democracy figures were charged with conspiracy to commit subversion for planning and participating in the unofficial primary election in 2020. 16 defendants pleaded not guilty today, including former district councillors Kelvin Ho, Si Tuk Loy, Ricky Orr, Lee Yu-shen, Lawrence Lau, Michael Pang, Jang Tat-hong, Clarice Yeung, and former lawmakers Helena Wong and Raymond Chan, as well as 6 defendants who have been remanded, including Gordon Ng, Gwyneth Ho, Lam Chek-ting, Leung Kwok-hong, Winnie Yu, and Chow Ka-shing. Meanwhile, 2 defendants, former district councillor Ng Kin-wai and founder of retail chain About Thai, Mike Lam, changed their pleas to guilty this morning. Ng said, "I was unsuccessful in subverting a totalitarian country" when admitting his charge. Gwyneth Ho said some of the original charges filed against her were omitted in the prosecution's opening remarks. Her lawyer was adjourned for a short while and given a clarification of the charges. The trial will last for 90 days. There was heavy police presence on the ground and in the air. Meanwhile, 3 League of Social Democrats members protested outside the magistracy and demanded the defendants' immediate release. but they were surrounded by a group of police officers and asked to leave immediately. Maisie Mock, HKIBC.
Chief Executive John Lee says Hong Kong is back on track at Saudi Arabia's largest technology forum, Leap Tech Conference. Lee's comment follows a memorandum of understanding signed between the Hong Kong Exchanges and Clearing and the country's stock exchange operator.
Hong Kong has been troubled for 3 years by COVID-19. We have already opened ourselves up to connect to the world. And just today, we resume normal travel with the mainland. Therefore, first, if you're wondering, you need wondering no more. Yes, Hong Kong is on stage again, here on the main stage of the LEAP conference and on the center stage of the global arena. We're back in the business of creating business opportunity for you.
After years of COVID restrictions, people heading to the mainland and coming to Hong Kong do not have to worry about daily quotas and test requirements anymore, as the border has fully reopened today. All border checkpoints are now back in operation, and an influx of travelers was seen at the Lo Wu MTR station. After 3 years, a once familiar scene has returned to the Lo Wu MTR station, which has been closed since February 2020 because of COVID. Passengers on the first train of the East Rail line rushed off to queue outside the border checkpoint as soon as they arrived at around 6 a.m. this morning. As the control point opened at 6:30 a.m., the crowd dashed to the counters and e-channel gates for departure. From today, people crossing the border are free from all restrictions, including quarantine, quota limits, and COVID test requirements. This woman felt grateful, saying the procedures are a lot more convenient now. But this elderly man had a slight hiccup as he didn't know the mainland requires inbound visitors to submit an electronic health declaration form. However, he managed to get through after receiving help from some staff. The whole border crossing process took only about 10 minutes. Across the frontier, a large batch of students headed south to Hong Kong. Many had decided not to wait until the official resumption of in-person classes before returning. The Education Bureau has earlier announced that cross-border secondary students can attend full-day in-person lessons from Wednesday, while those in primary schools and kindergartens could return on the 22nd of this month. Meanwhile, the Liantang Hung Yuen Wai checkpoint, which was only open to cargo trucks in August 2020, has opened to individual travelers for the first time today. Its service for passengers was earlier delayed because of COVID. The first 2 buses of the new route B7, which connects Hung Yuen Wai with Shengshui and Fanling, carried about 200 people to the land port. This man said the bus service can save at least half the journey time than he usually takes to go to the Sha Tau Kok control point. It took less than 15 minutes to complete the border crossing procedure at this new port. Security Chief Chris Tang said a total of 83,000 travelers had crossed the border as of noon today. He assured that the operation at the Lo Wu control point has been smooth so far, but advised people to use other checkpoints if necessary.
For the time being, the passenger flow in Lo Wu it's very smooth. But as I said before, there may be some construction work in the mainland side of the Lo Wu, and there may be some effect on the passenger flow in the future. So that's the reason why we have to use like the Lok Ma Chau border crossing point to help to make the people become more effective.
Others who inspected the Lo Wu control point today included Chief Secretary Eric Chan, Education Chief Christine Choi, and Immigration Director Ao Ka Wang. Earlier in the day, Tang attended a launch ceremony of clearance operations for passengers at the Hengyun Y control point. He also inspected the Lok Ma Chau Huanggang land port, which reopened at midnight. The city's top court has directed the Immigration Department to change the gender of two biologically female persons to male on their identification documents. The ruling comes after both were asked by the Immigration Department to undergo sex change surgery before issuing new documents. Joanna Ho reports.
Today will be an extraordinary day for the transgender community in Hong Kong. The city's top court has approved the applications of Henry Edward Tse and Q, who are biologically female, to change their gender on their identification documents to male. The Immigration Department has initially requested both to undergo sex change surgery to do so, but now the court has reversed the order of the Immigration Department. Tse did not expect the victory, even though his legal team told him there is a high chance of winning.
So now I have a male ID card. It would be a lot easier for me to access gender-segregated spaces. I wouldn't be questioned and humiliated by being outed by my ID. That is, incongruent to who I am.
The policy stated that they have to undergo full-sex reassignment surgery to remove their uterus and ovaries, as well as construct some form of a penis.
If you want to remove the uterus, it's a routine operation by a gynecologist. The major complication will be the injury to the ureter at both sides. But as I said, it should not happen because it should be an easy hysterectomy, all right, compared with the normal woman.
He added that the construction of some form of a penis has no complications apart from wound infection and hematoma.
There are many ways of doing a reconstructive surgery, but there is one simple reconstructive surgery that can be finished within a few hours with little complications.
Handing down the judgment today, the panel of judges said the policy imposes an unacceptably harsh burden on the pair. The court pointed out that the surgery wasn't the solely workable, objective, and verifiable criterion for reviewing the gender on the ID card. It added that there is only an extremely low risk for transgender persons to get pregnant during the transition. The panel of 5 top judges held the appeal unanimously. They ruled that the Immigration Department had violated the individual's right to privacy under the Bill of Rights by asking the applicant to undergo a surgery in order to denote the person's correct gender on the Hong Kong identity card. Joanna Ho, HKIBC.
24 people have died in forest fires which have ravaged southern Chile since last week. Fueled by strong winds and temperatures of over 40 degrees Celsius, some 260 fires are burning through the South American nation that have destroyed over 800 homes. Officials said 151 fires have been brought under control for now. At least 3 regions in the country have declared a state of emergency. Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, and Mexico have offered help. The city's property market gained some momentum after secondary market sales increased over the weekend. Deals across 10 housing estates picked up in the last 2 days. More than 20 transactions were recorded in 2 major estates, but the value of the transactions has declined due to the drop in property prices. Second-hand homes are priced lower than pre-pandemic levels. As for the first-hand property market, more than 60 deals were made over the weekend, even though there's no commencement of flat sale during the period. Now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index closed down 438 points. To the top 10 active stocks, Tencent was down $8.20, Meituan down $8.70, Trucker Fund down 42 cents. Wuxi Biologics down $2.45, Ping An down $1.85. To the forex trading against the Hong Kong dollar, euros at 8.45, pounds at 9.45, and Australian dollar at 5.41. Over to the UK market, FTSE 100 is down 55 points. On to the weather now. It will be cloudy with low visibility in some areas. Temperatures will range between 19 and 23 degrees. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Monday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Joanna Ho. Thanks for watching. Good night.